Hey, if you're curious about how by sticking up for principle, peace, and the real meaning of the English language, you too can be seen as a monster and run into a media death pyre by ignorant people wielding emotional pitchforks, then you too should just do what President Donald Trump and Betsy DeVos, the education secretary, did last week. Say that you're going to stop taking people's tax money to fund the private charitable organization Special Olympics, and then get slammed by leftist media and politicians. Hi folks, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV, and you know, for a few glittering days last week, it seemed as if Donald Trump and Education Secretary Betsy DeVos might understand the difference between charity and force. They were ready to strike $17.6 million in tax cash targeted to the private charity, the Special Olympics. But instead, they caved. And of course, now Special Olympics will actually get $2.6 million more from the feds than they got just 2 years ago. And in doing this cave-in, President Trump and DeVos appeared to relent to almost rabid leftist criticism from politicians and celebrities alike. From Democratic Congresswoman Barbara Lee from California, who said,
Madam Secretary, you have zeroed out Special Olympics once again. I still can't understand why you would go after disabled children in your budget. You zero that out. It's appalling.
But how is not commandeering tax cash and giving it to Special Olympics in any way going after the kids? Methinks Lee doesn't have a keen grasp on the English language or on ethics itself. Similarly, everyone's favorite blowhard senator from Illinois, collectivist Democrat Dick Durbin, told DeVos,
"Whoever came up with that idea at OMB gets a Special Olympic gold medal for insensitivity."
But strangely, Dick remained mum on the insensitivity of mandating that people hand huge portions of their earnings to him or else do possible time in prison for tax evasion. And even a courageous middle-of-the-road Republican like California Congressman Kevin McCarthy stood out and gave us a solid,
"I fully support Special Olympics."
But do you really, Kevin? How can we tell that you do if you vote to force others to do it? Charity is based on volition. Without individual choice, no one can show what he or she values. So it's literally impossible for a politician to say he or she cares or America cares about something by voting public funds to go into it. The politician isn't using his or her own cash, and the citizen will go to jail if he or she doesn't pay. Second, by showering tax cash on a private charity, the politicians open that charity to the tragedy of the commons, whereby everyone who pays believes that he or she has a justifiable claim on how that organization should be run. So you can bring it to its logical conclusion and say that people who aren't even disabled might say that, well, I identify as disabled and you have to put me into the Special Olympics. And third, finally, how about the peaceful approach? Why not allow for real values to be reflected and actually cut taxes on people so they can engage in moral choices themselves and send their charitable money where they desire it? That would get us closer to the original idea of the founders, get us closer to people like Hero Davy Crockett, who said in his great speech in the early 1800s called Not Yours to Give, that there is nothing in the federal Constitution that allows the politicians to take people's tax money and shower it on things that they think are charitable.
When you introduce the bill to aid the widow of that distinguished naval officer, I must vote no, for I cannot contribute to another act of unconstitutionality. I shall offer a suggestion that instead of an illegal appropriation to a charity case, that I, as the first, offer 1 week's salary to a private fund. And I'm sure that if every member of Congress will do the same, it will amount to more than the bill initially intended. Sincerely, Colonel David Crockett.
See, that is a very simple ethical lesson, and it's been lost in America. There are millions of people who don't understand this concept, and unfortunately, Donald Trump squandered the opportunity to remind people of it. So we're here to remind people of it. I hope that you appreciate this itself, and I hope that you'll spread the word about us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to tell your friends about MRC-TV. For MRC-TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.